Hello, everybody. Greetings to all. Welcome to the Snooker Hall podcast. I'm Dan Murren, and today we will look ahead to the German Masters. It kicks off on Monday. This year's event is slightly different. It's a slightly more extended version. Previous years, it's been a 5-day event. This year, it's a 7-day event taking place inside the Tempodrome in Berlin. Very, very highly thought of venue. Round one alone has thrown up some really intriguing matches. So I thought I'd take a look at some of the matches which jumped out at me. Let's get to it. The first one that caught my eye is Stuart Bingham versus Tepchaya Onu. Both have been pretty forgettable this season. There's been nothing to write home about for these players. But on their day, both are fantastic. Obviously, one of these men will go through to the next round. I do fancy Stuart to do this. I've just never been convinced by Tepchaya Onu. We all know how entertaining he can be, how devastating he can be if he's focused, but he's had chance after chance after chance after chance to put together a run, to show some consistency on the tour, and he's really yet to do so, if we're honest. And I think a lot of people will say that not that we've given up on him, but we kind of know his place on the tour now. And it's in the mid-rankings. Occasionally he might reach a quarterfinal. But is this man ever going to win a big ranking event? No, he's not. I fancy Stuart to go through that one. Ryan Day versus Ricky Walden. Two really good snooker players. I'll definitely be watching that match. Again, this season, there's not many deep runs, even combined between them. But both have the talent to do so, but something is stopping them. This half of the draw has opened up, so I wouldn't be too surprised if the winner of this match actually makes it onto the quarterfinals, and I'll go on to who they'll face in the quarterfinals in a moment. Elliot Slesser versus Liu Haochan. Elliot was a guest on this show recently, and he said that the Tempodrome is one of his favourite venues, if not his favourite venue outside the Crucible. He's been quietly solid over the last year or two, but so has Liu. And this is a really intriguing match. Again, it's one I'm definitely going to be watching. Who do I fancy? I think Elliot might take it. Elliot Slesser, he's been in decent form this season. In 2024, he made 2 ranking event semi-finals, and he made 2 further quarterfinals as well. He's been good recently. He's been quietly solid. He hasn't drawn a lot of headlines, apart from his comments that he made on the Snooker Hall podcast, taken out of context, I might say. But he has been a solid player now, and it wouldn't surprise me if there was another deep run on its way. Zhao Yulong versus Artemis Zizens. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of eyes on the young man because of his reaction to Matt Selt's immature, pathetic meltdown. I do feel... Actually, do you know what? Let's just have a word on Matt Selt's meltdown for qualifying for this event. Yes, it was unacceptable. It was immature. And at the time, I thought, you know what? I'm sure he's embarrassed enough, and the embarrassment is a sufficient punishment. But it would appear that he's not embarrassed at all. And hearing him talk with Stephen Hendry and having his behaviour defended by one of the greatest snooker players, if not the greatest snooker player of all time, I didn't like that. Okay, he apologised, great, second chance. You know, we're not going to crucify the man over this, but it's just not acceptable. And he's a senior player now, and he should know better. He should know better. And if you can't control your emotions, then that's a problem, especially when you're a public figure. I didn't like it one bit. I do think this will be a tough one for the young man, though, from Latvia. Zhao Yulong has it in him, and I really want him to get a trophy, because he's fast going to become the forgotten man of snooker. He's going to become just another Jack Lazowski, where, okay, yeah, on his day he's good, but he will never produce a good run, 6-7 matches in a row, which will deliver him a trophy. He's had chances in the past. He's made ranking event finals multiple times. He's made, I think it's something like 18 quarterfinals in ranking events. Like, he's a consistent player, and he's dangerous. But recently he's not been that good. Maybe we'll see something come from him this week. I hope so. Stephen Maguire versus Joe O'Connor, possibly the standout match from the first round. I'll leave it there. Neil Robertson versus Anthony Kowalski. This is a banana skin for the Australian. I do think he'll come through it. I was so impressed. I was there at the Masters to witness his comeback against John Higgins, and he played such good snooker. He played attacking, aggressive, positive, assertive snooker, and it was so refreshing to see after so many matches of dirgy, boring, negative snooker from Neil Robertson. It was so refreshing to see him attack his opponent. If he continues playing like that, he is a match for anybody in snooker, and I hope it happens because we need a good Neil Robertson in snooker. None of this boring rubbish that he's been playing. Positive Neil Robertson is what I want. I think he'll go well here in Germany. And the final match which stood out to me is Wu Yiza versus Jackson Page. There's been a lot of hype around Wu Yiza, and rightfully so. Again, I watched him in the final against the aforementioned Neil Robertson in the English Open in Brentwood, and yeah, he played well. I saw him briefly between sessions, and he was pretty down in the dumps after being so far behind after the afternoon session, but he showed immense quality. He showed tenacity to get himself back in that final, and I'm going to say it, Neil had a bit of fortune to get him over the line. It could have been another story. Wu Yiza, he since made another ranking event final in Edinburgh. Okay, he was beaten in that final as well. But when we consider his opponent, Jackson Page, again, there's a lot of hype around Jackson Page. And I'm going to say, I'm not convinced. I've never been convinced, and I'm still not convinced. Is Jackson Page really going to threaten the top 16? He might here and there. But is he going to ever really challenge for big tournaments? I'm going to say no. I don't think he will. I think he'll be the kind of player who floats around the 25 to 50 range in the rankings. He might make the odd quarterfinal here and there. I just don't think Jackson Page has it yet. Now, he's a young man. I think he's only 22. But there are other players at that age who are far, far ahead of him in terms of what they're producing on the table. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. As I mentioned earlier, one half of the draw has opened up because Ronnie O'Sullivan and Jingjun Wei have pulled out. Ronnie O'Sullivan has pulled out for medical reasons. Okay, I'm assuming that it's the same reasons which prevented him from competing at the Masters. If he's not ready, okay, don't play. It's fine. Snooker will be just fine without him. I'm not going to get into his personal matters. That's his business and only his. But it does open up a lot of opportunities in that half of the draw, particularly for Mark Allen. His route to the late stages of this competition has been made much easier after the withdrawal of Ronnie O'Sullivan. Now, he could face Sean Murphy or Judd Trump in the semi-finals, provided they make it through their part of the draw to face off in the quarterfinals. But Mark Allen, he's a good shout for me. I know I picked him for the Masters as well, and eventually, if I keep picking Mark Allen to win tournaments, he's going to come good eventually, and I'll be able to say that I got one prediction right. But he's in form, he's consistent, he's a really good player. Okay, Sean was too good for him on that semi-final Saturday at the Masters, but I think Mark Allen might win this one. I know it's going to get boring hearing that, but I really think he could do this. Thank you for checking out the podcast. Thank you for listening. If you have any thoughts on the German Masters, any other snooker opinions, or anything else snooker related for that matter, the email address is contactus@thesnookerhall.com. I will be at the final in Berlin. I've got a quick flight down there. So if anyone is there in person, please come, say hello. I will take the chance to spend a few days in Berlin because I haven't been there in years and it's a really, really nice place to visit. So the review episode will come out probably on Wednesday. I hope you all enjoy the snooker, and until next time, take care.